It's way past time I dispense some indiscriminate justice!
G'day everybody, Duckville here. We're going to have a look at another replay from the MLG 2011 Columbus matches. This is going to be between a Terran and a Zerg, as you can probably see by the minimap. Over here at the top right hand side of Xel'Naga Caverns, we're going to have sixjaxDDE of the famous sixjax team. Obviously still a bit of an up-and-coming team. They've been doing nicely in some of the recent tournaments that some of their guys have been competing in, such as Vines. They've got Major, and of course their captain Artosis, who everybody should know. And obviously DDE himself has been doing a nice job recently as well, taking out Hydra in the Tactic 3D tournament thingo, whatever it was called. I can't actually remember, but those were a nice set of games. Do go and watch those. I'm not sure where they are posted, but I'm sure they're somewhere, and they're definitely worth watching. But he's going to be over here on the other side against mouzMorrow. He's obviously been around the scene for a long time, been playing in Brood War before. Didn't actually get to the high levels until late in the Brood War scene, but was definitely a decent player there. And of course has been playing in StarCraft 2 for a long time as well, pretty much since we all started up. And he actually played Terran when he originally started. Of course, he was actually one of those players who was quite infamous for the, what was it, around about 5 racks Reapers, before Reapers got nerfed all the way to hell. And obviously causing a lot of trouble for various Zerg players with that incredibly powerful Reaper play, which was quite funny to watch some of the times. But of course, as a Zerg, it probably wouldn't have been. But I'm not Zerg, I play Protoss, so take that. Anyway, he's going to be across here, of course, with DDE up on the top-hand side. It is a 1v1 map, of course, and it is the MLG version, as we can see here, with the supply depot down here to block any sort of double, or is it triple bunker placements? I think it's double bunker placements still, but you won't be able to do anything like that. However, do keep in mind that fun, interesting little things can still occur where you can put like a bunker, I think it's around about here, put a Marine just behind it. Zerglings cannot get to it, and it's a lot of fun for a Zerg to try and deal with. But as we can see here, it looks as if we have a refinery already done for DDE, so it doesn't look like he's going to go for any sorts of pressure unless this is some massive crazy psych out where he's grabbed the gas, he's going to pretend to mine some gas and then switch over quite quickly to a second racks. But as we can see, there are no Maca racks down here to actually give him that advantage. But as we can see, he's going straight for that factory, and we'll see if he's probably, I would assume, going to get a couple of Hellions out, do a bit of Hellion harass, and he'll probably go from there. But as we can see, Morrow grabbing the second refinery there. Obviously, this gives him the advantage of scouting out a little bit of what's happening here in the base. Even with the 2 Marines, DDE still not actually taking out that drone before it got to replant that extractor. And of course, this is one thing which some players, which they will attempt to do, and they actually do it a little bit too much, is retaking the extractor like this, as we may see again here from Morrow. We'll see if he does it again. Yes, he does. Cancels right at the last second, replants that extractor. But you don't really want to do it too many times, because of course there is a tiny bit of minerals that you do lose every time that you cancel and replant that extractor, so you do have to be a little bit careful about that. I think I'm not sure if there's sort of an amount that you need to be careful of times that you do it, but you do need to eventually give it a rest. So we'll see if Morrow, I would say this is probably going to be the last time he's going to do it. He's done it about 4 times now. Command center going straight up here for DDE, and what we'll probably see is Morrow will cancel out this last ditch attempt with the extractor, and then maybe try and scout out to see if he can find out what is going on here for DDE. Of course, Zergs have been having a little bit of trouble. No, he's not. He's going to let that go and finish up. That is going to be dead in just a second, and that is going to give DDE the option to grab the second refinery. So down here at the natural expansion, gone up straight away, of course, for Morrow. He's a bit of an eco player. He also loves a creep. We'll see if he actually gets out a bunch of queens to put out some creep, because I have seen games where he's gotten it across the map in, around about like 15-20 minutes. Even on some of the huge maps like Tal'Darim or something like that, he'll do huge amounts of creep spread. And as you can see here, 2 Hellions getting inside for DDE. He has done a couple of kills there. We've got 3 on that one, and I'm not sure how many on the other one. 3 on that one as well. well. Not really sure. They must have killed some of the Zerglings. We didn't actually see those. We're too busy ranting about creep. But 4 Hellions now inside, doing a nice job of keeping the healthy Hellions at the front. As you can see here, the one that's a bit unhealthy, he hasn't been eating his vegetables. He's up the back, and in fact, that guy's going to die down, taking out 3 more drones. Beautiful harass here from DDE. He's doing a fantastic job hitting up some of these drones, roasting all sorts of drones around the place, and as we can see here, a decent swath of those drones were taken out. But as we can now see, they're down to 2 Hellions. A couple more will join up with them, though. As you can see here, we're back up to 4. This Queen's got to be careful. There is a creep tumor being planted down. That is also going to be a little bit careful there. You can cancel them, but of course, in this situation, it won't be rebuilt. But the Hellions are still causing a little bit of trouble, trying to take out the creep tumor before it finishes. But as you can see here, 3 Queens are out in total for Morrow, so he's certainly going to have a decent Hellion defense for the moment. He's certainly got a few Lings out as well, but of course the Lings against the decent controls of Hellions, as we can see here, there are now 5 in total, and even, was that a 6th one as well I saw? Yes, it was. So we've actually got 6 Hellions here. These guys are going to do a lot of damage. Do note that on a production tab we don't see blue flame, so they won't be doing as much damage as they could be, but he's certainly got enough to roast up some more of the drones, and we'll see if he tries to push in here. The 2 Queens trying to deny that, and they have pushed the Hellions away for the moment. Meanwhile, back at the base of DDE, he's taken his natural expansion. This is all up and running. We'll probably see some SCVs transfer over. There they are, just a few of them. You don't want to transfer every single one over, but he's going to have that economy pumping in just a moment. Now, do keep in mind, have a look at the creep. We've already started. Morrow is on the case here. He's got a little bit of creep spread going. A Ling, meanwhile, trying to run up the map to get some scouting done, and Hellions are absolutely just exploding in their numbers. We now have a total of 8 Hellions up here. The Queen trying to have something to say about that. There are a few Hellions here that are quite low in health, as you can see there. A couple of shots from a Queen, and those guys will definitely be dead. The Lings are attempting to block off the ramp, and they're not going to be able to do that too well, because of course the Hellions will just rip through those. But a few of the Hellions have been taken out now. The Lings will be quite happy with that. Works. 2 spine crawlers and a 3rd spine crawler off to the side are now prepared. So Morrow should be alright against the Hellion harass, but it looks as if we've got some Marauders and Marines on the way as well. These guys are going to have something to say about those spine crawlers. Stim is done. He's going to stim through here, try and take out these spine crawlers. Some Banelings morphing down to the side. If he can get those up, he will definitely be secure against this attack. But a nice surround there by Morrow. He's gotten the Lings around this this ball of units, but there's just way too much damage to for Lings to actually do anything useful. A spine crawler poking away, taking out 2 of those Hellions. They go down quick smart, and they will have to perhaps fall back for the moment. As we can see here, we've got DDE just retreating for the moment. Some of these units are a little bit low in health. Of course, they did use Stim once, I believe it was, so he'll have to take them back to perhaps heal them up. But it looks as if he's actually going to get another command center up. So DDE is just using this harass to massively boost his economy. If he can get that 3rd command center up and running, and take perhaps this 3rd base over here, or perhaps this gold here, which he has cleared the rocks from, he will be absolutely smothered in minerals, and as anyone knows, that is always a good thing. Some Lings poking away at these rocks. Those rocks will go down soon. There are some more Lings coming over. These guys are going to take their time. Looks, no, they're going to change their mind, but now come back. Creep tumor spreading down to that 3rd. Couple more creep tumors in the middle here. We've got 1, 2, how many is that? We've got a whole heap of creep tumors, active creep tumors in the middle. There are a massive amount, 10 in fact, are running through the middle there, trying to set up some more creep, and it looks as if Morrow's going to try and take out the rocks here at the gold expansion, but these Hellions are going to have something to say about that as they attempt to run away. Banelings off to the side, and now we can see that the Hellions are probably going to get trapped. There they go. One of them is done. The 2nd one is also done. The 3rd one is going to attempt to get away, but down here we do have some more Lings that'll probably be able to capture this Hellion if they are used efficiently, but it looks as if actually the Hellion's going to get it straight back up here, juking and jiving, running around, checking to see if the 3rd is done, sees that the creep tumor is down here, and he's going to have a few shots at that. He may be able to get it, I'm not sure. No, he don't, because that's going to hit into the ground. Morrow even placing another one down in the face of DDE, so he's going to be able to spread a lot of creep. Now, as we can see, DDE is getting that gold expansion very quickly, and of course, as a lot of Zergs and even Protoss will know, if you let a Terran get into that gold position and let him get a planetary fortress up, you can be in a world of hurt, because that planetary will not die at all with all those SCVs that'll repair it. Back down here at Morrow's base, we do see and a scan going off here from DDE. He's going to check out what's happening, sees the lair is there, it's shaking and dancing there, so it is getting the +1 to flyer attacks. +1 to melee is also on the way for Morrow as well, and he's in fact moving up here to try and take the gold himself. Let's just have a quick look of what Morrow knows is happening on the Terran side of the map. Doesn't know that the gold is there, can perhaps assume, given that that turret is being placed, that he has taken that gold. Meanwhile, not actually seeing too much else of what's going on. There is a +1 weapons going up here for DDE, so he is going to have a lot of damage coming out of those Thors, especially if the mutas are clumped up. The mutas, meanwhile, have started to come out in decent size force. They're going to try and run through the middle here, but a beautiful Brax wall has been erected here by DDE. He's going to block off this path. It actually, whilst of course it's not invulnerable, it actually stops these units from coming straight through, but in fact he is going to bust one of them down. A Thor is going to get caught out of position. The Thor attempted to do some damage to the Mutalisk, but it gets taken down quickly. The Lings swarming around, and we do see that DDE is going to have a little bit to contend with here. He will definitely clean this up, I would assume. There is one turret inside the main, but all those SCVs going down. That was a huge amount of SCVs going down there from DDE. The Banelings getting inside and blowing up all over the faces of those SCVs, and Morrow is probably going to have to retreat here. There is a little bit too much for him to contend with, but he is going to take the mutas over here to the side. They're going to take out some more SCVs. We'll have a look at the workers loss count in just a moment. Meanwhile, Morrow has gotten this expansion up. He's probably going to have some drones transferring along, I would assume, but the Mutalisks have done their fill. They're going to take out perhaps a few more Marines, taking out one, and not going to be able to get this other guy here who's had way too much stim to drink. But the that exchange there was really good for Morrow. As we can see, worker supply is quite low for DDE at the moment, currently sitting on 31 SCVs. Morrow way up in the 60s, I believe that was. And we'll have a look at the workers killed. In fact, 39 worker kills for Morrow, only 9 to DDE. So those whilst those Hellions did a fantastic job at the start of the game, we have actually had a counter by all of those Banelings that got inside and assassinated those SCVs in the mineral line. But as we can see here, it looks as if Morrow's going to attempt to bust through the turrets there with the Banelings, both the turrets going down. Beautiful work there by Morrow to take both of those down, but there are too many Marines here to actually hold up this planetary fortress, not to mention the fact that there are now some more Marauders and other units coming through. They're going to block off the Baneling and attack on the ground. The Mutalisks, meanwhile, are going to go to town on the rest of the Marines that were there. The Marines are going to have to try and fend that off. They're doing a decent job for the moment, and a starport has been erected down here. We may see a lot of medevacs starting to come out of DDE. He certainly has a fantastic economy, as we'll see on the economy tab here. He's still sitting at around about 1,000 minerals and 300 gas income, so he certainly really should start grabbing some of those medevacs to help out the bioforce. But down here, as we can see, with the gold just starting to pick up here, a 4th base almost on the way here from Morrow as well. He is sitting in a fantastic spot for his economy as well, and he's certainly going to need it to compete with a Terran of DDE's caliber. And over here we see a lot of Banelings morphing in. That is going to be a total of 31 Banelings that have morphed in here. And we'll see if Morrow is actually going to push in. Perhaps he may try and just actually blast this planetary fortress down. That may be one of the better ways to actually counter a planetary fortress at that gold base. Meanwhile, Lings and Mutas moving into position. They're going to see what they can actually get around and perhaps surround some units, but they're not going to get too far. The Mutas, meanwhile, have just gone across to DDE's base. There are 3 racks, which are a little bit unprotected here. You can see that DDE is actually supply blocked. Even though he just got a supply depot, he is still supply blocked. Beautiful magic boxing there with those Mutalisks getting on top of the Thor. The Thor will go down. A couple more Thors coming in here from DDE. He's got 4 Thor. It's a bit of a wrap there, and he's going to bring those in, and that will cease that Muta harass for the time being. But all this is doing is this is getting Morrow into a beautiful position with this gold up, with the 4th expansion here up. He's going to be in a beautiful spot, and as we can see here, some Lings taking some damage off the Banelings, and the Banelings getting inside, taking out the turrets, taking one of the turrets out. One of them will survive though, so he's not going to be able to bring in the Mutas to take down that planetary fortress. But the Mutas are getting into a quite sizable amount here. As we can see, they're getting all over the place. Banelings, meanwhile, still rolling in here from Morrow. He's going to take out the rest of the turrets that were there. and a Thor Marine tank push is now coming through the middle. So these are going to be quite a powerful little mixture there for Morrow to deal with. We'll see what he can actually do. He obviously has a lot of banelings still there. The Bermuda's off to the side, a lot of lings there as well. And we'll see if he's going to just directly try and engage this, using the Spine Crawlers to tank the damage, swarming through here. The Mutalisks trying to magic box. They don't actually magic box that well in that situation, but banelings are just ripping through every single Marine, and that is a GG from TDE. He has had enough straight away. They're just absolutely getting smashed in the supply. They're going down from around about 140 to 70, as we can see on the supply count there up the top of the screen, and Morrow currently sitting on 130 along with all of these bases here. Of course, he has the 4th, he has the gold, he has a lot of the map along with his very famous creep spread, as I mentioned. So that was a decent little game there from Morrow. He did a nice job of just keeping things nice and cool at the start despite the Hellion harass, keeping things cool, getting his economy back on track, and then just flying through with Muta Baneling and just doing a huge amount of economical damage to DDE. So I hope you guys enjoyed that game. If you do have any other MLG casts you would like to see, please let me know on Twitter or send me an email and I will get those done for you. Cheers.